Something for the end. Sorry, I know that I finished the video. It didn't happen while you was cruising on the highway. This didn't happen, let us say, when the engine was idling. This happened on the 4th or 5th gear, or maybe higher gear. It was at least from 4th gear and up, and it was under full throttle, under full boost, and more than 5,000 RPMs. Why I'm saying that? Because there was enough pressure inside of the engine to start bleeding oil out from the breather, pop up the dipstick, and stop throwing oil everywhere. That's why it became so wet, the car. You can see it on the bonnet. I forget about the bonnet. You see the oil on the bonnet. So once again, it didn't happen while it was idling. It's not a bone stock. It's not by far. Has a turbo upgrade, big turbo upgrade, has a methanol, has downpipes. So don't think that all the MO57s are like this. If you treat it well, and if you know what you're doing, you're gonna be fine. But with a big turbo upgrade, methanol, downpipes, tuning, you're not gonna get away with an MO57. That's the end. Thank you. How is it possible, let us say, okay, you make all these upgrades, and what you're expecting, let us say, to drive normal, to cruising around on a highway? It's impossible, right? So they're gonna push it. Fine. Okay. From my side, I'm gonna say why you did all these upgrades when it's well known that the MO57, even without a turbo upgrade, it can bend a connecting rods. It's very simple. You're chasing your luck, you know. So that's why I'm saying that if any owner, any customer, he wants to put turbo upgrade, or he wants to make heavily modify the car, he wants to put a water methanol, he put it down pipes, tune it, all this, he has to sign a paper that we are not carrying any responsibility if he bent the connecting rods, because we are talking about bent connecting rods here, with the number one that has so much blow by that it increased so much the pressure inside the engine block that it starts leaking oil from everywhere. So you cannot change the fact that it has bent connecting rods. It's a mechanical, it's not a software to click one delete button and erase it. It's already there, it's inside. If I open the engine, you can see with your eyes. That's the number one, right? So now, to saying that if it didn't have oil inside the engine, you're gonna seize the engine. You're not gonna bend the connecting rods. You're gonna seize completely. Now we're not talking about seized engine. We're talking about an engine that has bent the connecting rods, and on the number one cylinder here, it's so much that has a blow by. There is no pressure at all inside. Fine. The turbo looks okay, by the way. One important thing is, some people that don't get it, they're saying, okay, why it melt, let us say, one piston example, or one spark plug, for example, all right? What's happening? You see the lambda, and the lambda, it's how much you put? You put 0.78, you put 0.82 volts, example. You check the lambda, the voltage, for all the bank, not per cylinder, all right? So if one injector is spraying less amount of fuel for a reason, under load, what's gonna happen? You're gonna increase the pressures and the temperature inside of the cylinder, and you're gonna have not even a blink of an eye until you melt a piston, you blow on the head gasket, or because you have detonation after that inside. You don't have the normal burn of the fuel graduate to increase the proper pressures. It's different, let us say, to increase the pressure that much. Now, if we are talking about detonation, because that's what we are talking about, the number one, that's why it bent also the connecting rod. We are talking about that increase the pressure so much beyond the strength of the connecting rod, it bent the connecting rod, all right, and has so much blow by, it might be also crack the piston. You need to be open to have a look on it, all right. So it might suffer the studs, the bolts on the cylinder head. That means when you try to open it, it might not open nice, or it might have the cylinder head a lip, whereas the head of the head bolt, you know, it might create a lip because of the detonation, you know. So, like I said, all the evidence is here. It's mechanical. Whoever wants, I mean, if they give me the green light, I will gonna remove the engine, we're gonna open the engine, and you're gonna have a look how it looks like inside. Definitely, there are 3 bent connecting rods. It most probably gonna be all of them bent, but 3 of them, they're badly bent. Small update. Let's see if there will gonna be a part 2. This is gonna be the part 1.1, because now the first part I'm already uploading it. You wanna add something? No. Once again, you're not checking the oil level from here. This is from where you're filling it up. If there was full of oil here, you're not gonna even start the engine probably. You know, you're not gonna have anywhere to go down the piston. All right, that's the oil dipstick there, not here. That's it. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. By the way, for those that are not working on Saturdays, we are working on Saturdays, unfortunately. Yeah? Right? Yeah. Same shit, different day. Thank you. Yeah, I'm never gonna finish the videos. I said to have a nice weekend. I'll go figure out. What I was saying. We'll have a conversation here with the guys. Alright? I'm saying, who had the idea to put a turbo upgrade, methanol downpipes and tune the car? It was me. Did I pay for it and then I give it to the owner and said, okay, drive it like that? No. Alright? Definitely, before we fix all this, because we make check up on the car, we get compression to see that it's healthy, the engine, before we make any modification. And definitely, in the most videos, not in 99.9% of my videos, when I see a bone stock M157 without piece connecting rods, and the owner, he wants to put a turbo upgrade and methanol, I'm saying that within a month, he'll gonna be back with the bent connecting rods. Yeah. This is a well-known. It's not something new. Since 2014. I told you before, I bent connecting rods. 8 connecting rods in one pull. 5.5 seconds, 100 to 200, back in 2014, 2015, 14, 15. Okay, so we know years now that this is happening. Now, once again, what we said earlier, is it my choice to put this? No. All right, you bring, let us say, your car, example. Let us say this is your car, all right? And you want to put a turbo upgrade, you want to put a methanol, you want to put downpipe, and you want to tune it with the stock internals, all right? That's well known that they're bending connecting rods. Whose mistake is that?
My mistake. Yeah.
All right? Because it's impossible, let us say, to put all this and to just drive it normal. It's impossible to bend the connecting rod or to have all this oil to reach till the tailpipe, you know, all this pressure by just idling, just cruising around. Makes sense, right? And then the other thing, what we said, example, it's coming here, the car, and we replace, let us say, for example, this pipe, this coolant pipe, the bleeder pipe, all right? We get a brand new. For a reason, the brand new pipe that we are installing, from the factory defect, or it fell down or whatever, it has one small crack. And the owner, he's getting his car, and this pipe, it breaks, it goes away, all right? When you see the temperature that goes up, this is an example, it didn't happen that, it has a coolant inside. It's an example, don't confuse yourself, don't mix up. When you see that the temperature goes up, you're going to stop your car on the side of the street and you're going to say that, you know what, yeah, I have a problem. Fine. If you continue driving it, you're responsible because you already see that it's overheating the car and you're continue driving the car. If you continue driving the car until it gets seized, you know, okay, you see that the coolant temperature went to the sky, all right? Or you see inside that, you know what, there is no oil, example, because it's coming on the instrument cluster, all right? So, you don't have oil and you continue driving the engine. Who's operating the car? Example, with the same principle, you have a flat tire, all right? You continue driving the car with a flat tire? No. You see that doesn't make any sense, right? And like I said earlier, once again, it's a mechanical. It's been printed. It's there. You cannot delete it. You cannot change it. Physically, you cannot do it. And you don't have to be a mechanic to understand that you have to deal with a bend connecting rod, because you can clearly see. If I take it out on my hand, if I have it here on my hand right now, you're going to be able to see even by eye, especially on the number 1 cylinder. Number 1, number 5, I think. Now that's the end. Let's continue working. All right? Okay. Thank you. Dang it, we're never going to start working today. It happened what happened on the number 1, all right? And I stopped on the number 1. I saw the rest, but we didn't get compression. Let us say that all the other cylinders, they have 12 bar compression, all right? Even with the other one, the bend connecting rod. And only the number 1 cylinder, there is no compression, there is blow-by, fine, and has bend connecting rod. Correct? Okay. So you're going to tell me now, how you increase from 1 cylinder all this pressure inside of the engine block? When this happened, the car, it was going with 200 kilometers at least. All right, that's, I'm saying, minimum. But 180. I'm going to say that he was going with 180 kilometers. Fine, fine. When this happened, the other cylinders are still firing. When the other cylinder is still firing, the turbo, it's pulling. It's on boost. Even if you don't have explosion inside of the combustion chamber, even if you don't have a, let us say, spark, you cannot ignite the fuel inside because there is no compression to ignite it, there is still boost that's waiting behind the intake valve and it's pushing inside boost. So all this boost, since you have a blow-by, you're going to end up inside of the crankcase, inside the block. You get my point? If I remove completely the piston and the connecting rod from the number 1 and you start pushing the car, it will gonna spool. It might not spool so much this bank because it's missing one cylinder, all right? But you're gonna spool that bank. You know the point? You will gonna have boost here. So what you're gonna end up? You're gonna end up blowing air, boost inside of the engine. This air, it has to escape from somewhere. There is one piece here. From the other side, there is a check valve. It cannot come out, all right? That's why you don't see oil. From this side, it can come out because there is a different check valve that it's breathing that way, all right? And the dipstick, that's the easiest one to come out. This one, it cannot come out because it's locked. It might be also, if you see the crankshaft rear seal, also the crankshaft rear seal might be wet a little bit, or the damper pulley seal front, because of the pressure. But before of this, it pop out the dipstick and it will start escaping oil from here. The check valve to in, the check valve here, it's not a big deal. I hope that I cover everything. I hope that's clear, and it's gonna be even more clear. I'm gonna have a proofs when I'm gonna open the engine. I hope now to be the end and to finish with the stupid videos.